Hey guys, what's up? Alright, I want to talk about lawn cutting heights and my experience with it. So I live in Central Texas and I take care of about 25 plus lawns on a regular basis, and this is my experience. But most of the types of grass we have, well, mostly we have some normal summer weeds, but most of the lawns are a mix of St. Augustine and Bermuda grass, and this is a prime example right here of how it may look. Or you may get areas where it's totally solid, or just like that, solid St. Augustine. Anyways, I wanted to talk about Bermuda grass first, and one thing with it is if it's patchy and say you've got dirt spots or you've got patches of it and you want it to spread, well, one way to get Bermuda grass in particular to spread is to cut it low, and that could be anywhere between 2.5 inches, 3 inches. Depends on how wet or dry it is where you live, but if you're trying to get it established in an area, cut it low so it'll spread. And once you have it spread out, once you've grown it to where it's spread out the way you want it, then you want to slowly start bringing it up some, like anywhere between that 3.5, 4 inch range, along with St. Augustine. But in the summertime, you always want to cut, if possible, especially where I live, cut the yards tall. And when you mow your lawns tall, what it does is there's all this plant. All the grass. When the grass is tall like this, what it does is it protects your soil, and it allows for a whole lot more moisture retention, and so that'll keeps it going longer, and you won't have to water as frequently. But if you mow it really low in the summer, like say we're between that 2 3/4, 3 inches, that's pretty low, but it can withstand it as long as it does have some water. It might look a little rough sometimes, but this is mostly taken over. It probably took, well, this area here is on the side of a pool, and it's a pool at the house here, my house here. But anyways, have mowed it low kind of over the years because this used to not grow anything, but over the years what I've done is I've mowed it low, and it's allowed for it to just take over this whole area, this hillside here. And anyways, so, and then now I mow it up at about 4 inches or so along with the rest of the lawn, so it's coming in it's a whole lot better than what it was. It's all used to be dirt, if you ever watched my early videos of this channel. But there's some crabgrass, but that's normal. Anyways, have weeds, but it gets hot and dry here, and sometimes there are times where you almost have no grass, and then the weeds come. Anyways, but you can come over to this is like a zoysia mix right here. Don't really know where it came from, but it came here somehow. It came in. We had some trees here at one time, and I think that's where it came from. But this stuff here, it takes over, and it's great. I haven't done anything to it. It started like right there, and now it's this whole little area right here. It's all on its own. But anyways, they're gonna walk up here to the St. Augustine. And this is how a lot of lawns look, pretty mixed with weeds, St. Augustine. Bermuda grass is kind of the prime, that's the most common type of grass I see. And you got like some of this summer ryegrass type stuff that just comes up every summer, no matter how much you try to spray or get rid of it. Anyways, so this is another thing, it's the clover, but that is really prominent in lawns too. Sticks around for a while. But anyways, here's some really healthy St. Augustine. It's under a nice shade tree, of course. But I cut this at about 4 inches or so. It gets water about once a week, and mow it about once a week, every 2 weeks. and it does pretty well. It really does well with mowing it really tall, and that obviously keeps the moisture in, but also shade helps. St. Augustine really, like in Florida and in the deep south where it rains a lot, that's really where it's meant to be, but it holds on really well if it's in the shade like this. But anyways, I cut it up high for years, and mostly in the summertime what I'll do is I'll cut it up at about 4 inches or so, and then throughout the winter months what I'll do is I will go a little bit lower over time up until about February or so, and then I'll kind of start mowing it down low, might bag it, try to kind of pull out just a little bit of that thatch to allow for it to come back, and it comes back vigorously every year. Obviously you can throw different types of fertilizer down, but I mean it's pretty easy as long as St. Augustine you've got shade, you mow it high in the summer, it's gonna do well. But I mean mostly that's kind of about what you want to do in the summer. I've kind of been asked questions before on how I go about taking care of lawns and stuff, and that's pretty much it. So, you know, long story short, what you want to do, if you've got established grass and you want to keep it that way, keep it beautiful, in the summertime is mow it up high. And usually what you want to do is use the 1/3 rule, or you can also, it's not terrible, but you can let it go a little longer than that. It doesn't totally kill it if you don't follow the 1/3 rule. It sometimes you let it go a little longer, not totally where it gets overgrown, and then when you go in and you cut it and it's yellow, that's too much. But you really want to try to keep your lawns cut every 2 weeks or so, and then they won't get overgrown, and then they won't get disease, especially St. Augustine. So you got to stay pretty regular on that. And another thing of advice is, if you're using sprinkler systems and any kind of irrigation, is what you want to do is make sure you keep the lawn cut so your sprinklers are effective, because what happens is your grass gets too tall and then it blocks the sprinkler heads, and then you spend money on water, but your water's not getting everywhere effectively. So that's just my advice and my experience with it. So anyways, guys, if you have any other questions, just let me know in the comments. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.